If it bleeds, we can kill it. Welcome in to the Bro Force Squad podcast, where we're just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is episode 111, and I'm your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Before we get into the movie conversation today, let's go around and meet the fellow bros with me. As always, we start in the lab with the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Now, Banner, I know as a scientist, you're very precise with your calculations, like Lau from The Dark Knight. So what alcoholic beverage would you calculate you've consumed the most throughout this quarantine, and what's the damage in terms of total numbers?
Okay, so total numbers. I'm going with Captain Morgan. That's about 12 and a half drinks, because 24 shots in a bottle, obviously 2 shots a drink. We've got 12 Corona Extras, 12 Henry's Hard Seltzers, 12 Bud Light Seltzers, and 12 Corona Refrescas. If you
really mixing up the seltzer game here.
Yeah, you got to keep it interesting. Damage from that is just under $200 as far as money-wise. That breaks down to about $1.49 per drink. Doesn't include mixers. You asked more specifically about the drink of choice. It's going to be Captain Morgan and Vanilla Coke. So we're looking at 86 calories per shot of Captain Morgan and 150 calories per can of Coke. If you guys do the math on that, we're looking at 322 calories per drink. Multiply that by our 12 and a half. We can't have half a drink, so it's 13, obviously.
Right, you round up.
Right. That equals 4,186 calories. I'm going to go with that's the most damage. Because in proportion total, I've got 10,630 calories of alcoholic drinks, variants plus or minus 7. And that does not include probably the half a bottle of wine I drink at dinner with my wife every night.
Wow. I'm really
anything
impressed.
else?
I mean, should we just end this show right there? It's only going to go downhill. Catastrophic. I mean,
look, you wanted the numbers, all right? Don't sue me. You're the one that wanted the numbers.
I'll never ask that again. All right, Matt, a simpler question for you. Our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. So, Matt, this past week, some brave warrior told
us...
Another
150 calories.
Some brave warrior in the comments section of one of our YouTube videos told us to go die. So I have to ask, I mean, should we just shut down our channel?
Not if someone threatens to murder us. However, if he threatened to murder us with a cough or a fever or a sore throat, then yeah, we'd basically shut down the entire fucking pod and just quarantine all our subscribers. But
I don't think we can financially
this
recover
guy's pretty
this.
healthy, so I think we're fine.
How do we deal?
Humor for you bitches.
Let's get out of our system while we can. How do you fight someone so brave, though, to write that?
I mean, basically you just send something back about his mother or sister and about Geiger porking him.
There you go. I'll get on that right after this.
Great use of porking.
I haven't heard porking in a while. That's great. If you guys have not listened to our show before, we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is our chest day topic. And this week, we're actually going to tie this into a movie commentary that we have dropping on Friday of this week. We're finally rolling out a BFS, that stands for Bro Force Squad, a little spoiler there, invention that we've been cooking up for a while. It's called Action Movie Bingo. And I can't actually remember whose idea this was. Matt, was it yours initially?
I don't want to take credit for it. I don't really remember. It's something we've been saying on pods for a really long time that we should come up with. I'm not sure whose idea it was.
Yeah, well, I think
I'll take credit if you want to give it to. That's fine.
I think you kind of brought it up, and then we all got the ball.
Definitely one of the three.
Geiger thought of it, but I made it work.
It definitely wasn't Cycly's idea.
Yeah, we can rule him out right away. He doesn't
one
get
of us three. I can't remember.
Banner, why don't you give the people your own explanation of what Action Movie Bingo actually is? I mean, it sounds kind of self-explanatory, but it's not.
Let me preface this with, I did not do a lot of the heavy lifting on this. It was actually Horns. Give the credit to him. He went online and found
I was kind of like the Winklevoss. I think I came up with it, but Horns actually made the site.
It's a great analogy.
If that helps out people. Sorry, go ahead, Bear.
You're such a Winklevoss.
Does that make me Justin Timberlake?
Sure,
Or-
if you want to
or
be.
you
I'm
can
kind
be
of
the-
getting fucked in this deal.
You
But I
can be the kid, like the really tan kid who hangs out with the Winklevosses, always has a blazer on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I look good in a blazer.
Yeah, you do,
I'd
actually.
rather be the Spider-Man guy, but okay.
He kind of gets fucked, though. Spoiler alert.
Yes, but it's better than being Army Hammer that did Lone Ranger after that.
Sure.
So basically, Horns went online, found a bingo card generator, and we asked you guys on Twitter, give us some of your action movie stereotypes, things that happen in every single action movie. We came up with some, you guys came up with some. We throw those in the generator, and we created a action movie bingo card. I believe Horns did a squad blog on this. In that squad blog, you have the link to where you can create your own. And we just started putting them down. As that event happens in the movie, you take a drink, put an X on your card. Obviously, the more X's, the more drinks you take. When you get a bingo, you chug your beer. Pretty simple. A lot of fun.
Definitely. And Geiger, you and I talked about this. This is something we think could actually be done for like all different genres of movies. Obviously, action movies, there are a lot of obvious tropes and cliches, but I think this has a wider reach as far as different movie genres go.
Sports movies for sure.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
superhero movies for sure. Rom-coms like chick flicks for sure. Yeah, you could do this with about any movie. I think we could. We'd really have to put our brains together for this. I think all those would be as easy as the action movie. But like Oscar bait movies, I think we could make a fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I think we could do one for like documentaries too.
Yeah.
You could even do like Tom Hanks movies. Like he probably does
Yeah.
the same shit in all of it. Or like I think of someone like Charlie Day. How predictable is the stuff he's gonna do?
I mean, we could even take this as far to make a drinking game out of the Oscars somehow. The bingo.
I mean, the goal of this
Political
podcast.
speech, like something that doesn't make fucking any sense. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ones we could do.
The
Renee
person
Zellweger.
someone presenting is hammered off their ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger doesn't know what planet she's
Yeah.
on. She doesn't even have to be like up on stage. They can just show
Yeah,
her.
not
she's
even
on.
sure.
They'll be like, oh yeah, she's pretty fucked
Meryl
up.
Streep mentioned, even though she's not even in any movies this year.
Yeah, Meryl
She's pretty
Streep.
spaced.
Meryl Streep cameos in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, just so she gets the invite to the Oscars. Like, does that count, Meryl? Should we let you in here? So the point of Action Movie Bingo, like they said, is to watch an action movie with us and basically get hammered as the cliches take place. Now, the squad blog that Banner referenced will be linked in the comments here, so go click that for the rules, basically, or how to set it up. I even have the link in there to set up your bingo cards. But what I wanted to do was I copied and pasted in the show notes, Geiger. I don't know if you have it up.
Yep, I got him.
A couple of like the best cliches that you guys sent over to us to put on the bingo cards. And I thought it would be cool to each read a few of these. And then if you have like, we won't have one for all of these, but if you have a movie that springs in your head like, oh my God, this obviously fucking happens in that movie, bring it up. I think it'd be fun to briefly talk about. So Geiger, what are some of the ones that you had?
So at Bro4 Squad is where you can find us on Twitter, guys. And, if you have a couple more, send them in, and then keep an eye out because we probably will be doing it shortly with sports movies and everything else we mentioned. So here's a couple of the ones I have. Good guy's wife, girlfriend, daughter is kidnapped or used against them. Good guy's friend/partner betrays them. Good guy unretires, returns to the life he swore off, and any type of countdown or timer that the hero has to stop.
So obviously the first one, like Taken. I'm pretty sure
Right.
Harrison Ford, how many times he said, give me my family back?
No, that's Liam Neeson and Taken.
No, but Harrison Ford.
Harrison
Oh,
Ford
and Air
says it in a
Force
ton of
One.
movies.
Yeah, check out the commentary on that. It's only our highest viewed one ever.
Give me my family back.
Good guy's friend or partner betrays him. That reminds me of SWAT with Jeremy Renner and Colin Farrell.
Oh
Is that
Yeah, I
happens?
forgot about that.
GoldenEye, obviously.
Happens twice because the other guy betrays him at the end too.
The shitty Indiana Jones movie, GoldenEye.
Yep. Yeah.
That's just like such a common trope. And he's always like, we were brothers. And the guy's like, sorry, money talks. Some stupid fucking iteration of
Guy
that.
retires, returns a life he swore off. That's basically John Wick. If you're just saying like,
Yes.
which is
Or-
which is coming out this
What's
week.
that? What's that one with Liam Neeson also where he's on the train? Passenger.
Jeff saw it.
The Commuter.
The Commuter. That's right.
Yeah, he's an ex-cop.
He's an ex-cop.
I swore I'd never go back. I mean, every sequel to Fast and Furious, one last ride, 6 times.
Unforgiven, that's not really an action movie. That's more of a Western. But the whole movie, I'm just like, okay, when's Clint just going to, like, say enough's enough and kill everyone here?
Yeah. Like, stop bearing the lead. Last one, any type of countdown or timer. I mean, that's pretty much every movie
That's
too, right?
Pretty much every single one, yeah.
One that comes to my mind is Speed.
Oh yeah.
That's all that movie is.
That's all that movie
Just a
is.
countdown clock.
Yeah, Speed and Speed 2. They're both that way.
I'm pretty sure any and every James Bond movie has some variation of that. I thought about doing like chug your beer if he stops the timer at 1 second, but that would just be dangerous.
Everybody's
Speed
chugging their beer every
2?
time. Yeah, it's the cruise ship.
Was Keanu in it?
I don't remember.
I think she came back, but I don't think Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
did.
I think he was
Okay.
back, but I'm almost
Maybe it's
positive.
the other way around. Speed 2 cruise control is what it's called.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I was
It's-
like, why? Like, literally, this guy has the worst luck if he's on another thing like that.
It's great.
Fuck, how'd this happen, bro?
This summer, it happens again.
Except it's
Banner.
released in December, Christmas time.
Right, why would you want a movie on the ocean to be released in the summer? Doesn't make
It
any
just
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
All right, Banner, lay some more on us.
All right, so we've got henchman can't shoot for shit. Bad guy tells the hero some version of, quote, "We're not so different, you and I." Car chase and they barely fit through the gap, or we're not gonna make it. And good guys escape from being tied up or in some seemingly incapacitating situation.
So
Like
right
Indiana Jones is a good one of that. They're in the pit with all the snakes. There's no way they're getting out of that.
Or like, I two of these are Austin Powers makes fun of. I know Geiger knows the exact scenes because there's the one where he ties up Austin and Scott's like, "You're just gonna leave? You're not gonna like watch him die?" He's like, "No, I'm gonna assume everything goes according to plan." What?
Austin Powers does make a fun of a lot of these, actually, and I'm reading them.
And I'm pretty sure that Dr. Evil has the speech to Austin where he goes, "Well, you know, we're not so different, you and I."
Yeah, that's like in this first one, I think.
I think almost every superhero movie has that speech where the villain is like telling the hero his motivation, and he's like, "You know, if you think about it, we're really not that different." Zod does it to Clark.
Joker does it in The Dark Knight.
Definitely. Thanos does it.
Zemo does it, I'm pretty sure. In Civil War.
Yeah, definitely. At least to T'Challa at the end.
I mean, really, you could say it anyway. It's like, we're not so different. I want death, you want life. I'm like, yeah, but that's like two of the most opposite things.
Yeah, like those don't seem to
I
be.
mean, we
near-
both want something, I guess.
Henchmen can't shoot for shit. I mean, any Star Wars movie, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But it's like, where do these villains get black market mercenaries that can't hit anything?
I mean, they're off the bottom shelf, Jeff.
And then the car chase where they barely fit through a gap and say, "We're not gonna make it." I mean, obviously every Bad Boys movie. That's Martin Lawrence. He's like,
That right there is one of the best chase scenes in Bad Boys 2. He's like, "You sunk a boat? How did you sink a boat?"
yeah. And then I love when the hero's like, "We're gonna make it," like reassuring him. I think every Star Wars too, someone says something close like that.
Never
to Han.
tell me the odds. That's
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's Han.
Or I got a bad feeling about this. Kind of goes in that same bucket.
I know he says it in Kong Skull Island, but is there multiple movies where Samuel L. Jackson says, "Hold on to your butts,"
He says it in Jurassic Park.
and Kong Skull Island?
I know he says it in Jurassic Park because
Okay.
he's got the cigarette like hanging out of his mouth all cool like, and it's right before they turn off the power. Don't judge me on my knowledge of Jurassic Park.
Well, now it feels really cheap that he says it in Kong Skull Island because it's when they're in the helicopter and they're like flying into Skull
They're
Island.
going into that storm thing. I actually remember that now.
Yeah. And I didn't know why that line was like so significant to people. Now it just feels cheap.
It's a great
All
line.
right. Last couple, we kind of just touched on this one. Villain explains his plan to the hero for some reason. It's usually when the hero's like tied up and he thinks he's dead.
That is James Bond to a T right there.
Why are you telling me every single plan? If I get out of here, I'll know exactly how to stop it.
Right. And then you're also just
you're not getting out.
And then he always leaves him there to go like do the plan. Like it's happening at the same time. Any iteration of innocent people will die is said. That's from the hero. Any form of let's finish this or one last time is said. Someone presumed dead comes back. And then this one is my oh God, Expendables 3, it's an orgy of that. And then this last one is my favorite. It doesn't apply to sequels, but some of them actually might be the case. But the title of the movie is said. So like,
yeah,
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. Something. John Wick.
Did they say Expendables in the Expendables? I can't remember.
I mean, they're called the Expendables.
I'm just trying to think if anyone actually says it out loud.
You can. What did you count? The Avengers.
Yeah, because they say the Avenger Initiative. Does that count?
I think so.
Innocent people will die is great because like the bad guy usually that one and the villain explains his plan come back to back because the bad guy explains his plan and the good guy goes, innocent people will die, and the bad guy's like, yeah, I know, I fucking made the plan. I understand that will happen. And then let's finish this or one last time. I would be shocked if that was not applicable to every Fast and Furious movie in some version. And we could be a little bit vague with this. Like, it doesn't have to be those exact lines, but if they're like,
I'm pretty sure it's those exact lines in all the Fast and Furious movies.
I know in Bad Boys for Life, because I called Geiger right after it. I was like, they said one last time in it. And Geiger's like, then did Martin Lawrence go, unless this makes $250 million at the box?
I really hope they don't make any more of those movies.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would be worried. All right, well, that is action movie bingo. Before we move on, is there anything that you guys want to say about the iteration? Again, this is, I think, one of our Bro Force Squad creations that we're very proud of. It's very simplistic, but it combines our two favorite things, which is drinking and watching movies.
So I'll say we've only played this officially once, and that was when we watched John Wick. Guys, it works. You get drunk, and it's a lot of fun. You kind of, it makes you pay attention to things a little bit more, but not in like a pretentious way. It's like you're hoping these things happen, or you know it's coming up and you can't wait to take that drink.
Yeah, guys, just do us a favor, listen to John Wick. I know like a lot of our fans are anyway, but do us a bigger favor and comment below what you liked, what you didn't like, maybe some stuff that, you know, you think should be on there, like a given or something like that. Like I said, this is the first time doing it. We'd like to do it for different movie commentaries as well with like superheroes and stuff, but it's only as good as the fans will make it. Obviously, the fans came up with a lot of these that we use, so just comment and let us know.
Yeah, the great thing about the game is obviously you can change up the bingo card every time. You can all have the same terms on your card in different order, or you can all even have different cliches. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is it gives you a reason to look for stuff in the movie. Like, it to me, when I heard Geiger first describe it, I was like, that's a really good game to play like before you got to the bars, whenever that's a thing again. All right. On to the next part of our show, our protein shake, where we go around and each talk about what is in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. I have 12 things, but I'm going to run through these quick because a lot of them are just movie commentaries. So to figure out who goes first, Geiger, how many things have you watched?
3.
3, Banner?
I got like 5.
Okay, let me do a couple and then I'll let you guys go real quick. All right, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I finally saw this. Check out the review Banner and Geiger.
Seen it?
No, I hadn't.
Oh.
I had not. I obviously love Jurassic World, but I hadn't seen this one. And
that's where the love stops.
check out the review from a few years ago that Banner and Geiger did. This was part of that DVR purge, so I had like free HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax for a month, and I went through and just started DVR, like, all right, set to DVR all the movies that I was kind of interested in watching. Going back through it, this is one of them. Boehner, you're gonna be pissed.
I know. You
Fucking
liked it.
love this movie. I loved this.
Lose my number.
It was
Really?
so good. I might even like it better than Jurassic World.
Get the
What?
fuck out.
I just thought
No.
the whole other side of Hammond's industry, it taking place in that mansion for the main part, I thought was so fucking cool. I loved Owen and Claire's relationship, how like they're not together anymore and they really don't get together. I understand why you're mad, but Banner, I think the stuff you're mad about hasn't even happened yet. It's gonna happen in the next movie.
And
Right, so you're not mad at Fallen Kingdom.
Wasn't the girl like part dinosaur too or something?
See, I never
she's a
saw
clone.
but not of a dinosaur. I was looking for that the whole time. That never happens. There's no dinosaur.
She's just a regular clone.
The thing,
It's stupid.
The thing I remember, the only thing I remember about it is that I saw it once, and it's been on a lot of streaming things, and I just never got the urge to see it again. So I kind of, whenever Jeff brought it up, I'm like, oh yeah. I said I must have not liked it too much because I have not pressed play ever since this fucking thing came out.
Matt, go give it another poke, because on the review, Matt, you're like, this was solid, right? And then Banner just shits all over it, and you're kind of like, damn, okay, maybe it wasn't that good.
I thought it was okay. It was fine. I had a fun watching it. Of course, it was in the summer. It's a Jurassic World movie, but it's nowhere close to Jurassic World. Nowhere fucking close.
Agree to disagree, man. That's why the pod's great. It's my second favorite Jurassic Park movie.
What?
Yeah.
More than the first one?
No, my second favorite.
So it goes the original Jurassic Park, this one, then Jurassic World, I guess, because the other two suck.
Then Lost World, then Jurassic Park 3.
You don't know how disgusted I am with you right now.
I was watching
a commentary on this, but our Jurassic World commentary has gotten like no views at all, and I don't really understand it.
And it has the best quote of ever in it.
No,
Like,
there's Park.
There's some fucking ones that I'm like, dude, this is never on TV. Jurassic World's on TV all the time, and like no one watches. I don't understand that. It's a perfect fucking commentary too. Go check it out.
I was watching it, waiting for it to get bad, and I was like, dude, I love this movie.
It has a great first act. I love the first act. I love the idea of her trying to save them, but I like my dinosaurs on an island trying to get off, not them already off.
See, I like the ended though, because wasn't there a what's the fucking birds that fly?
Yeah.
Pterodactyl in Vegas, and I was like, dude, okay, I could fuck with this.
And then you got the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the lion at the zoo, like
that was,
going toe to toe.
I'd be interested. I'm interested.
No,
I don't even like the first act as much. I really like the second act, where they like sneak. I just love everything in the
fucking raptor thing that they did was stupid. The new dinosaur they made.
Cool. It's all in close quarters, and they use like the ram head guy to break out of their cell. I don't know. I fucking loved this movie, dude. I fucking loved it. All right, Alley Cat Strike. I watched that. We did a movie commentary on it. Check for that. That's dropping next week. It's the Disney Channel original movie, of course. Kaylee Cuoco's probably first film. Boehner, you were on it. Anything you want to say to tease the people about the movie commentary?
There's a lot of bowling in it.
And wow, way to tickle the balls there. That'll up the views.
No, it's a fun movie to go back and revisit, bring you back to the childhood. I had a rough time, but you guys should go and watch it, and then you'll know why.
Why did you have a rough? Oh, because you didn't like it?
No, you guys kept calling me a racist.
Oh, that's right, we did. We got really into the West versus East Appleton rivalry and poked. There was a couple holes we found in that, but for the most part, airtight.
I'm just saying, East Appleton all the way.
Yeah, I see you rocking the letter jacket for East Appleton. I watched Stumptown season 1. This is a show that was on ABC with Kobe Smulders from How I Met Your Mother, and Jake Johnson from Jurassic World, and of course New Girl. Really check this out, Banner. It's actually based on a graphic novel.
Okay.
It's about this girl named Dex Perios, who Kobe Smulders plays, who is like an Iraqi war vet. She was an interrogator in the war. It has a lot of humor in it, though, too. But she comes back and becomes a private investigator in Portland. And Jake Johnson is her best friend who owns a bar. And it's pretty interesting, like the case you follow through the first season. And I love Kobe Smulders and Jake Johnson, so right down my alley. Stumptown, highly recommend it.
How'd you watch said Stumptown?
It is on Hulu actually. So if you have Hulu, really good watch. 40-minute episodes, so the wife and I would watch one like as we're eating dinner and then a little bit after, so it's great. Cruise through it. On the Kobe Smulders kick, I watched a movie with her and Justin Long, a dramedy called Literally Right Before Aaron. This came out in like 2016. And I love Justin Long. I usually like romantic comedies with him in it. This thing is a piece of dog shit. Stay away from it. Nothing happens. There's no movie. It's 4 or 5 different scenes of Justin Long being awkward somewhere, which I normally find hilarious, but you have to insert that into a plot. You can't just do that 4 straight times.
Not a big Justin Long guy.
I'm getting to the point where it's getting hard for me to defend him. Like at some point, bro, you gotta.
Like he's annoying in Dodgeball. He's great in Waiting.
Like you were great as the receptionist in The Breakup, but you're
I hated him in Accepted. I hated him in that movie.
Yeah, he's the worst part of that. I don't know. Stop talking because you're making it impossible for me to say he doesn't suck. So literally right before Aaron, this one's also on Hulu, but I would stay away from it. The trailer's gonna lure you in, don't fall for it. There's a couple funny scenes, but not much there. All right, 2 more and then I'll toss it over to Geiger. These are both movie commentaries that we did. One is Tarzan, the 1999 animated Disney movie. This is on Netflix right now. It's also our commentary is also on Apple Podcasts or YouTube right now. And I watched the movie with the commentary that Geiger and Banner did. And yes, I'm a little bit biased, but it was fucking hilarious and made the movie very, very much even more enjoyable. And if you're worried about, well, I don't want to listen to the commentary because I'll miss the Phil Collins parts. Don't worry, Banner annoyingly sings half the fucking music.
Banner sings a lot of them.
What? I like them, okay?
One of them, Geiger's like trying to say something about the movie and Banner just won't stop.
Yeah, he like won't take a hint that I have a point to make.
I had a point to make too. And I think I made it.
That's fair. You did. You're right about that. And then last one before I toss it over to Geiger. John Wick. That's dropping this Friday. By the time you listen to this, probably tomorrow on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. And that one is our movie commentary. You can watch that along with us, John Wick. And we play, of course, as the aforementioned action movie bingo to it. So a first for one of our movie commentaries. And I think a fun one this Friday, crack open a beer, make your action movie bingo card. I'll have everything linked in the description. And let's get drunk and have some fun during this quarantine. All right, that's about half my list. Geiger, turn it over to you.
Okay, first, HBO Now, I canceled my subscription because they made Brand King, enough said. But apparently it's free now, so I got back on there. Started watching True Blood.
And that's what you go to watch, is True Blood.
Sorry to interrupt real quick.
I've never seen it, ever. This is the thing with quarantine, man. I'm doing shows, not movies. I want shows. And it's very interesting. It has a Rob Zombie feel to it, like the directing and stuff. I'm into it. I've watched 1 episode. I'm probably going to watch more. But I only watched 1 episode because I finally just sat down and decided, okay, the first 2 episodes I was not fucking into at all, but I'm just going to go and just power through the first season of Peaky Blinders on Netflix. This show, I want to compare it to Sons of Anarchy so fucking bad because it's very similar.
It's
especially
slow,
how Cillian
though,
Murphy...
right?
It's way slower in Sons of Anarchy, way slower. But how Cillian Murphy and Charlie Hunnam kind of play the lead character, and they're both part of a gang, and they run guns, and they're more of a, do liquor at a bar than drugs or something like that. It is very slow, but it is very good, and I finished the first season, and I am hooked now. Like, I got to know a lot of the characters, and they're very interesting, and they're starting to get some layers and stuff. Very storytelling, but you can't really do a shoot 'em up thing when it's like 1918. Like you just can't. So it's a
That's
lot
when
of
people would shoot you with their gun like in their fucking jacket.
Yeah.
Right?
My problem is that's like one of my worst times of the year, like of our existence. Just give me either the Civil War, give me cowboys, but just skip the whole fucking Roaring '20s. I'm just really not into that. But actually,
Like
I made it so far now. I'm just waiting for Tom Hardy to come in because I know that he comes in and I hear it's a very good time when he does.
I'll
The
tell
other
you
two
this.
things
Sorry, real
Good.
quick, because I have a quick question for you. Yeah, give me Bane and Scarecrow, and all of a sudden you have my attention. So with True Blood, my question for you, because I was kind of surprised you said you were enjoying it. Is it not as poppy as I had heard, or at least not yet in the show? Because I
Not
thought it was
yet.
going to be more like a Riverdale type.
I thought it was too, but the way it's very, it's not like pop music, but it's not hard rock. It's more like alternative rock, if that makes any sense to you.
Okay, that's my
So
jam.
it's not zombie movies, but it's not fucking Dawson's Creek either. It's not
See,
something on the CW.
that's what I was worried it
And
turned
there's a lot of sex in it, a lot of tits and ass. It's very HBO.
once you made the sale.
Yeah.
Because I had heard that it was, or was worried it was more like a sort of a teeny bopper.
It might get there, but it hasn't so far. It's not that bad.
And is it?
I would be watching more of it, but I really just decided I'm going to hunker down and fucking just plow through Peaky Blinders. And it's very slow, but it is good and very character development. The other two things I watched on Netflix, the Kill Bills are on there, so I watched the first one of that, which are very hidden Tarantino movies. I never see these on TV. They're always playing Inglourious Bastards or Pulp Fiction or Django. But these movies are very fucking good. I've
They're
actually
fantastic.
haven't seen a Kill Bill in probably about 10 years.
I love how
And I
gory.
forgot how good they. Yeah.
So you just watched
And
the
the
first
last
one?
movie. I just watched the first one. I'll watch the second one probably this weekend.
Sorry, I have one last question about True Blood. Is it contemporary? Like, is it set in modern day, or is it one of
Yeah,
these things where it's okay? Because I think the other thing I had maybe heard from someone who clearly didn't know what the fuck they were talking about is it was like kind of medieval times, but they were trying to use like language and like social norms like it was
No,
today.
it reminds me of X-Men. How they have like vampires among them. People are aware they're among them, and they're like, are they here to hurt us? Are they here? But
I can get into that.
Banner kind of perked up when I said X-Men, but so far Banner makes sense. I'm only one episode in though.
X-Men's like throughout the first movie we didn't fuck up the continuity, like, but that's not
true.
even
Yeah,
possible.
you didn't fuck that up till.
Actually, speaking of
Yeah.
X-Men, isn't Anna Paquin in it who played Rogue? Or is that a different show?
I'm pretty sure she is in it.
I don't know.
Or at some point she's in it.
If she did, I didn't recognize her.
Maybe she got the gap in her tooth closed.
Yeah, she probably doesn't have a gray streak in her hair either.
The last thing I watched, which I think I'm just gonna say this is the top 100 movie ever, and that's The Social Network. This is one of the greatest fucking movies I've ever seen. And also, it's a part of American history, whether you like it or not. This is about people didn't die making Facebook, but this goes right down with the Civil War or something that basically changed the way
It started
Americans-
social media.
Yeah, it started pretty much social media and changed the way Americans just interact with each other and the way they share information. This is the new newspaper. Facebook, this is how people get their news now because it's insane. And the way it came up, and it's so well acted, and the score banner is so fucking good.
It's
and
a great
the directing. It's fucking brilliant. And every time I watch it, I'm like, why isn't this like up there with Shawshank Redemption? This is one of the greatest movies I've ever fucking seen.
I think
And
it's one of the
Justin
best.
Timberlake, every time he acts, he's brilliant. Every fucking time.
I think this is one of the best casted biopics I've ever seen.
Yes.
Agreed. One of my
also,
favorite lines from Timberlake is
Sorry, Jeff. You know the movie's good whenever you show it to someone for the first time, or you tell someone this is where he got his start. This is where she got. It's like the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
I was like, Zuckerberg wasn't that big until this. No one ever heard of Armie Hammer, and this basically catapulted
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. And then
Rooney
Timberlake,
Mara is in it a
obviously
little
out
bit
the
too.
dog, but this basically made him like, oh my god, he can do that role. He just doesn't have to be funny.
Rooney Mara also plays. It's kind of a glorified cameo, but she plays his girlfriend who he breaks up with in the very beginning.
Yeah,
And
and
Yeah.
chick, Quincy Jones's daughter from The Office
Jones.
is in it. Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines from that movie, Geiger, you'll love this, is when who's the Napster guy? What's his character's name again?
John Parker.
John Parker.
John Parker. The line that he has, I think it's Zuckerberg at their first meeting about how to approach VCs, and he goes, $1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? $1 billion.
That's my favorite. If we're gonna do this movie, that's my favorite scene when he orders the Appletinis. Then after he's like, take out the. just Facebook. It's cleaner. And then he just walks out. I'm just like, God, he just comes in there and rules the room, dude.
Yeah,
He's so great in that role.
And he had Zuckerberg eating out of the palm of his hand from that first meeting.
And when I watched that for the first time, I had no clue the guy that created Napster was part of Facebook. I had no clue of that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I think he got in his legal. This is in the movie, I think, but he got in his legal trouble like just as they were coming up, so they took his name off the masthead.
Yeah.
But he was like his connections in Silicon Valley are what got VCs interested at first.
Yeah.
I also love the line. I always think of like this is us with Cycli in like 10 years when he takes over the pod. When Eduardo Saverin goes, "I thought they were my lawyers."
Yeah. When Cycli basically fires all of us somehow and takes it over and then sells it to like 15-year-old kids.
Yeah, he's like, also, you guys signed over your firstborn child to me. You didn't really. He's like, you really should have had your lawyers look over this. Like, I thought you were my lawyer.
I thought you were my lawyer.
What's the line that he says when Eduardo like is about to go over and fuck up Zuckerberg's laptop? The guy's like, oh no, he's wired in. Is that what he says?
He's wired. Yeah.
This guy I used to work with used to always say that when a guy was like not to bother him, he would make fun of him like, oh no, he's wired in.
It's
like,
an interesting thing, and you got to take it all with a grain of salt because it's a certain point of view. But the Winklevoss twins, like, they weren't gonna create Facebook; they were just gonna create a thing for Harvard, and that was it. So
not to get into a mini review, but to get into a mini review, who do you think it paints the worst? Because I actually think, as I've rewatched it, I get that Zuckerberg is like the easy villain to hate, but he's actually shown to be maybe the smartest of anybody in it. I think the Winklevosses, it paints them to be like people who maybe they had an idea, but they had no, like, Facebook would not be Facebook if they got credit for it, if they took control.
No, because they just want to strictly keep it to Harvard and then maybe do like just Ivy League things. So it wasn't like every single person, even like a 10-year-old could get on it. So I understand though that basically Zuckerberg should have been upfront with them, be like, hey man, like, I don't want to do this. If everything on that movie is true too. I mean, obviously any movie takes a lot of royalties, but I don't, it's a tough situation. I'm glad they were compensated for Facebook though.
It makes Saverin, Andrew Garfield's character, definitely look like he's the most sympathetic. Like he got screwed the worst, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
but also he was providing the lead.
No, he should have just been like, dude, I'm quitting my fucking job and just gonna do this Facebook thing.
Yeah. Although I kind of don't blame him because at the time you were like, dude, it's a website. Like those aren't even a thing. Like we're not gonna fucking this, you know? Nowadays, if someone had a cool app idea, you'd be like, okay, when can I quit? Like, let's go.
I bet Zuckerberg is the biggest douchebags ever if you meet him.
I would love to go to one of those pool parties at their shitty house in Silicon Valley, though.
It's sick, yeah.
They're grilling out. Banner's like, let's just bring some brats and we're fucking.
Let us right in.
Banner's like, no shirts though, right?
Obviously. I mean, I could put on a Hawaiian shirt if we have to. I didn't realize it was classy though.
We're not buttoning it though. This isn't church.
No, come on. It's not even Sunday.
I'm glad you brought that up, Geiger. We should do a bro back on that. I would love to talk about that movie.
I don't know if we could do a commentary. I don't know if it's that type of movie, but I would definitely have to do something else on it.
We can do any type of movie.
I was going to say, please. Challenge accepted.
We could. We could make it funny. It's just, yeah.
That was awesome. Anything else, Geiger?
No, I'm good.
All right, Banner, what you got?
All right, so we went back and revisited Inside Out, Amy Poehler Pixar movie, about her little girl Riley's emotions and how they all work together.
Amy Poehler's a voice in that?
Yeah, pretty sure. I might have made that up, but I'm pretty sure. It was fine. It was good. Not a great Pixar movie. Definitely not my favorite. Not even top half. But it's not bad. I think it's kind of fun to go back and look at something from a child's point of view. And this, you're literally in her brain, going through a big life event like moving. It's good. There's some funny parts, some cute things. Man, that's about all I have to say about it. Won't watch it again unless I'm forced to by my 2-year-old. But hey, yeah.
How many movies are you watching with your 2-year-old that you're like, this is fine? Also, I'll probably never ever watch this fucking thing again.
Watched the live action 101 Dalmatians a couple weeks back. Yeah, felt like that. It was
I
fine.
didn't
Glenn Close.
even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it came out
Was that movies or was that straight to Disney Plus?
I don't know. I think it went. No, this was made in like 1995 or 98, maybe.
Oh, the one with
Glenn
Close.
Close and
Oh,
Jeff Daniels.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I remember that coming out. Yeah.
yeah, that's one of those ones that I'm like, it was harmless, but never gonna watch it again. Watched Up. Great Pixar movie.
Love Up.
What do you mean? I love Up. It's a good movie.
You
You
just
love Up.
always talk about Up.
I don't always. This is probably the first time I ever talked about Up.
Well, it was part of our tournament thing, I think.
It didn't make the tournament, I don't think. Did it? It might have.
I think
What's
so.
wrong with Up? There's nothing wrong with Up.
Nothing. I just remember you really politicking for it when it was that tournament.
I might have been.
I'll say this. First 5 minutes, great. The squirrel part is great, but I mean, it's good. But
what a divided movie two guys we have here with Jurassic World and Up.
I don't even know you. This pod has changed you.
I was also thinking, I for those listening at home, I just took a piss real quick, so I missed what Banner said. But I was realizing how much we've grown. Geiger just talked about Kill Bill, Peaky Blinders, and The Social Network, and then of course because you have a young daughter, now we're going to get like the kids movie. You get everything when you come to the Bro Force Squad podcast.
All of it. Tits, ass, and then also something for your 2-year-old to watch.
Look, we have a little for somebody. We're like Chili's. You're always going to find something on the menu you like.
Yeah, except there might not be a fight at the table next year. Actually, there probably will.
There probably will be. Went back, watched a few episodes of that 70s show. I've watched the first disc. I have the entire series on DVD. Popped the first disc in, watched that. Guys, it is a phenomenal show. Dare I say a damn near perfect show?
It is.
It's
on Netflix, too.
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah. See, that's what quarantine's about, is rediscovering a show and binging through all of it. We're doing it with...
show's something you can watch. I can watch for like 6 hours, for real.
And I don't even realize it's 6 hours later.
Yeah.
I think one of the best finales of a sitcom.
I agree. I think they did really, really good through 5 seasons. Sixth season, things started to get a little shaky. 7th, they did what they can with what they had, and then they forced an 8th. They redeemed themselves in the final episode. I remember, Jeff, you watched it in our living room in college, and I said, you have to watch this by yourself. And you watched it when all of us went to bed. And you woke me up. And we're like, dude, I just cried a little.
Yeah, the finale is really emotional. They did a really good job considering the flux of... It's interesting, too, like the dynamics of the cast. And if you go read about that show, like it's even more intriguing. It's
crazy. That's a documentary I would love to watch.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher leaves, but he's still kind of like willing to... He probably does like 4 episodes a season for like the last 2 seasons or so.
Yeah.
Topher Grace left prematurely, and obviously his career's... I don't want to say it's been dwarfed by Ashton Kutcher's. They both had varying levels of success, but Eric was kind of the fulcrum of the show, and so when he left, it was tough to replace him.
Yeah.
And they did the problem is they had enough meat on the bone with these other characters. They could have just omitted Eric and it would be fine, but they tried to replace him with another character, and that, in my opinion, is where they messed up.
But without Eric, Red isn't as funny.
Right. And Fez is like a lefty specialist. Like, he's got to be used sparingly.
Yeah, right.
Hyde, they kind of played out all the emo.
They replaced Kelso was when I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. Why another kind of dude with nice hair that's dumb? I'm like, okay, I can't do this.
Who was the guy? What was the name of the character who quote unquote, replaces Eric in the last season? His brother is Seth Meyers. And he was on Mad TV.
Remember Kelso's brother was Luke Wilson?
Yeah. He was awesome.
That's a great 4 or 5 episodes. He's dating Donna.
Yeah.
It's in the 4th season.
He's calling her Pinciotti, doesn't even call her Donna.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Pinciotti. God, Luke Wilson is so fucking cool.
He calls Eric Foreskin.
Foreskin. And he's like 12 years older than him.
So yeah, went back, watched a few episodes of that. Guys, it's great. Go back and watch it. And so you guys know our Star Wars Rise of Skywalker commentary has already dropped. On that commentary, we talked, may have been afterwards, I don't remember. We talked at length about Phantom Menace, so naturally I had to go back and rewatch it. Guys, I've shifted my stance on a couple of things with Phantom Menace, and I really need to
Are we about
get
to
it
argue
off.
again?
We actually might.
Damn it.
You know, guys, I've changed my stance on this, and I've got to admit it feels pretty good to finally be able to get this off my chest. Been thinking about it for a couple of days. It's really been weighing on me. Nobody comes to Jake Lloyd's defense when he says George Lucas ruined my life. I think George Lucas ruined his life, ruined his career. The dialogue in that movie is so fucking bad. He honestly did the best he could with it. I don't think anybody could have done that good.
Real quick, has Jake Lloyd actually blamed George Lucas for him being in prison? He has?
He's joined Lucas for ruining his life.
That's awesome.
You think we could get Jake Lloyd on the pod? I mean, we could just call the jail.
Like in Tiger King, where they're like, collect call from so-and-so county prison.
Yeah, we could just record it and put it on pod. That'd be sick.
I'm sure he's fucking awesome. He comes on.
We have Cycly call him as a lawyer and be like, hey, man, I can maybe get your sentence down a couple years, and we're huge fans.
And Cycly's talking to him, we're like, dude, wrap it up. We have some fucking questions.
All of his dialogue is absolutely horrible.
It's bad. Are you an angel?
Horrible. Which
angels don't really make sense because they never talked about heaven or hell or anything. They just...
You're just... Okay.
Look, you buy it or you don't.
And also in his defense, I know he has obviously, like, half his scenes are probably with Qui-Gon and Liam Neeson, but the other half for a kid that age are with either the pit droids or Watto, which, like... Okay, give him bad dialogue, and he's 9, and now I have to act with like a green screen and a tennis ball.
Fill in the blanks with Jar Jar and Natalie Portman.
Oh God,
Can I say one thing though? That it's probably the greatest ever Star Wars movie poster.
Where he's walking and his shadow is Darth Vader.
Shadow's Vader.
Fuck yes, dude.
In fucking sand. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, dude, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
That might have given me my first boner.
That or Dr. Chase Meridian in Batman Forever for me.
I can't remember. It was all a blur.
For more boner talk.
All right, and another thing that I know we're beating a dead horse with this, but Natalie Portman, 62% of what's wrong with this movie is her.
Is she mailing it in yet? Because she was really not. I know she was in Leon the Professional, but how are you already fucking mailing it in a Star Wars movie?
Let me point you to a specific part. 1 hour, 40 minute, 48 second mark.
Holy shit!
This is
time stamped her.
Yes,
time stamped you, bitch.
When Queen Amidala finally reveals herself, and lets the Gungans know she has a decoy, and she's pleading with them. She asks them, "Hey, no," she begs them to help.
Oh, that's the worst. You're right.
It is the worst line in the history of cinema.
We ask you. No, we beg you.
Beg you. And then she gets on a fucking knee. No.
So I'm sure
it sounds like when I was in first grade trying to read the textbook out loud to the rest of my class.
Squanto, the Indian chief. Like, what?
It's embarrassing how fucking bad.
Let me throw a quick what if at you. And Geiger loves a good cat fight. We talked on the commentary. Obviously, Keira Knightley was her. What would you say? Not body double, but she played like the.
They hated each other. Apparently.
And Natalie Portman was like infamously horrible to her. Switch those roles. Not that Keira Knightley is some world beater, but she's a very, very good actress. If she was actually Padme and Natalie Portman was the bitch who got cast off, do you think our lives would be any better?
I do. I really do.
I mean, I think we saw a little bit the small problem called dialogue of the movie and lines, but I mean, I like Keira Knightley way better than Natalie Portman, so.
That's true. But if you give me bad dialogue and then I also don't give a fuck and don't try, now we have a colossal fuck up. It's like
yeah, you're on a bad team, but you can at least take a charge now and then, you know.
How many Keira Knightley movies have you seen where she mails it in?
0, I'll say that.
Right.
You and McGregor.
Natalie Portman mails in
she was in a franchise where she could have mailed in. and she didn't. She was Pirates, so she's getting all
Geiger,
those.
Ewan McGregor, this is an insanely deep cut. Ewan McGregor is like Michael Carter Williams on the Process 76ers. He's like, this team is horrible, but someone has to score 20 points tonight.
Yeah, like
So
literally,
I'll
I'm gonna make the All-Star team. Okay, we're not gonna make the playoffs. I'll tell you that, but I'm gonna make the All-Star team.
But someone's got to shoot every time we come down court, right? Like someone has to. It's an NBA game, so I'll do it. The team's dog shit, but I'll get my stats. That's what Ewan McGregor did. His Your New Empire. That was him. Like, I'm gonna fucking hustle. I'm gonna run out this ground ball, even though we're down 7 runs in the ninth.
I will go to my grave. I will go to my grave saying that was a great scene. I think that was a great scene. I do.
Yeah,
and anyone that was well acted. I thought it was pretty well directed, even though it's green screened. I don't care.
It's a great cap to the second best lightsaber fight in the entire franchise.
Yep. First best, of course, in Phantom Menace, right?
Was I right? I don't know if we got this on pod on. I think it was the end of Star Wars, but Banner, you have a fucking large meat lovers coming, a doobie, and a 12-pack of beer. What Star Wars movie? Are you
it's Phantom Menace. We went over this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got it on pod though. So
we did because what we said was, if you go by story and plot, Phantom Menace honestly is probably the worst, maybe second worst.
Too much of the trade bullshit.
There's too much explaining with that bullshit.
There's a lot of politics going on. Like, you got to kind of pay attention. Actually,
as a kid, I'm like, just fucking fight each other.
Yeah. As far as with all that being said, it is the most fun Star Wars movie out there. Pod racing, Duel of the Fates.
It's Darth Maul
in general. It's fantastic.
To quote Star Wars again, when Geiger was framing that question to Banner on the Rise of Skywalker commentary, it's like, all right, you got 12-pack pizzas coming. What Star Wars do you watch? I wanted to go, it's a trap!
It's a trap!
He knows he's like describing the best possible scenario to watch Phantom Menace.
It's like, yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, went back and watched that. That's all I got for you guys.
That's awesome. All right,
I needed to get a couple things off my chest with that. Jake Lloyd's obviously not the problem, and George Lucas did ruin his life.
Is Jake Lloyd still in prison?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
I'm gonna text Cycly tomorrow. I guarantee you. I think we could get him on the pod somehow.
I feel like he got let out on parole and then he fucked up again, like really quick.
Is he on Twitter? I'll look.
Oof. There's probably a lot of fake accounts. Geiger probably runs a couple of them.
I'll just say real Jake Lloyd.
Geiger has an account called Jake Lloyd's Teardrop Tattoo, where he just goes and tells other people to kill themselves on social media. All right, I have a few more things, then we'll get to do you in lift, bro. A couple of these, we'll go real quick. Rise of Skywalker, watched it. Movie commentary's out now. Get it on VOD, by the Blu-ray DVD. Check it out. The Bro Force Squad commentaries on Star Wars are always excellent. Speaking of commentaries, this one is not going to drop until Geiger. When is golf happening again?
Probably June.
Okay, mid-June, hopefully sooner. But Geiger, Thurman, and I did Caddyshack. Obviously, like probably pound for pound the greatest golf movie of all time. That's debatable, but one of the rare comedy movie commentaries we did, and Geiger, I don't know about you, but I thought this one actually led to a lot of really fun conversations.
Yeah, me and Thurman did Tin Cup, which is technically a comedy, I guess, but this one is a full-blown, like, classic 80s comedy. And, yeah, I thought it went really well. It was a very good discussion piece, Bro Force Squad style, so keep your eyes peeled on that for around June.
And a nice dichotomy because Thurman and Geiger are basically scratch golfers, and I have like a 36 handicap. So you get a little bit of the golf talk, and then you get a little bit of whatever stupid shit I say on there. 3 movies I'll get through real quick because then, Geiger, I want you and I to have a quick conversation about this. But I watched a movie called Getaway from 2013. This is part of that DVR purge. This is Ethan Hawke, Selena Gomez. Ethan Hawke is like a getaway driver who hears this voice in his ear. His wife has been kidnapped. Action movie, bingo, drink. And the whole movie, it's literally just 6 action set pieces of him driving his car away from people. while John Voight is the voice in his ear. I gave this, I think, a half star on Letterboxd, the biggest piece of dog shit I've seen in a long time. Took me, I'm not even kidding you, the movie's an hour, 28 minutes. It took me 6 different sittings to get through it.
No, I have a 5-time limit cap.
The only reason I kept going back to it, when I would click like recordings, like on your DVR,
It's at the top of the
it
list.
pops up like, you still watching this? And I'm like, fuck, I just want to get rid of it. All right, I'll give you a few more minutes. And I'm like working in
It's
the
like
background.
the vegetables on your plate. Like, I still got to finish this before I eat my cake. Like, God damn it.
I keep
Guys,
trying to put
there's so
gravy
much
and
left.
salt on it.
I've got one more thing I watched. I don't mean to interrupt you, Horns.
No, go for it.
This is important. Did you guys know there's a new, and I'm going to use this term in air quotes, new Bachelor on right now?
God damn it. Yes, I did. Listen
Yeah,
to your
watch
heart.
that.
Yes, listen to your heart. You watched it?
No.
Oh, well, I did.
The guy was offended. The fuck's wrong with you?
I watched it.
Banner
I don't
light
know
on
what
us.
it is. I don't understand. They've got guys and girls. They're all quote unquote singers, and they are throwing them in a house. Girls have to pick guys. I think they are now a couple for the remainder of the season, and they're in a singing competition. Not exactly sure if that's the case. I have an alternate theory about what the Bachelor and Bachelorette is.
So, sorry, real quick. Is there like a one guy or girl who's like picking between other people, or it's just like a dating house?
Oh,
Like
yeah, they're all a bunch of fucking whores.
No, but I mean, like, is there
So-
one guy who's like picking a bunch of girls and one girl?
No. There's like 14, or it's like 12 guys and 8 girls, and 4 guys get eliminated after the first episode.
So there's no one like giving out there's no like one person for either sex.
No, there was the females gave roses to the males.
Is there any reference to COVID-19? I mean, obviously I'm not an idiot. I know this is pre-recorded, but they're obviously touching each other and really close to each other.
Not yet. There's
If they
not.
die,
I
they
know
die.
that they,
Rocky
I know they had to
Horses.
stop recording at some point or stop filming the show at some point because of COVID-19.
Okay. all
They
right.
have not said anything yet about it.
Is Chris Harrison there?
Of course Chris Harris
Of course,
is there.
Chris
Come
Harris.
on.
Jesus, Jeff.
And he's still dropping wisdom. Come on.
That's like dying, going to heaven, be like, oh, is God up here? And Jesus? Yeah, of course Chris Harrison's fucking there.
That's a great analogy. Perfect
Um,
one too, because Chris Harrison
The
is.
only analogy.
it's is it good? No. Am I vested? Yeah. So I'll keep you guys updated.
How long are the episodes?
This one was 2 hours.
Ow,
Yeah, the first one's 2 hours all the time.
no chance. And
It did take me 3 times to watch it. I did skip a little bit. The wife continued. So I wasn't in it for the whole 3 hours. I caught enough of it to get the gist of what's going on.
It doesn't take too long to get the gist, but
yeah, it's the type of show you could kind of drop it middle way through. Like, I got it. All right, 2 more things I watched. Knowing. This is a movie with Nicolas Cage and Rose.
It's a good
Byrne.
movie. I like it.
Dude, it was intriguing. So I listened to it because another movie podcast I listened to did a retro review on it. This would be one that. Oops, I dropped my mic. Everyone okay? Boehner, I think it'd be cool if you and I did a throwback on this at some point.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
And Geiger, you'll like it. The director Alex Proyas. This came out in I think 2013, but he did The Crow.
oh yeah.
Now this is much different from that, but obviously like that's one of your favorite movies.
Yeah. I didn't even know the director that did The Crow. It's one of my favorite movies.
When did it come out? Okay, if you got to bounce, that's fine.
No, Thurman is FaceTiming me. We'll send him the message. We'll get him later.
Wow. I don't have much else to say about Knowing because I think I can't say anything without
It's
spoiling.
really hard to explain the movie without spoiling anything.
Right. So check it out if you can, and then Banner, maybe if you find time or if you even remember it enough, I think it'd be really interesting for you and I to talk about it on a broback. And I think people.
Yeah, I need to go back and revisit it. It was.
Because it is.
I watched it. I've only watched it once. And it was like 10 years ago, and I really enjoyed it.
Ben Mendelsohn is in it. One of his first movies, probably. He's like another professor at MIT with Nicolas Cage.
And it's not like bad Nicolas Cage.
No.
Like, it's not It's not I need money Nicolas Cage.
Right.
I actually still care Nicolas Cage.
And I think you can probably it's kind of paint by numbers the first 30, 40 minutes, but it's only like an hour 35. The last 30 or 40, I don't know. It's something that I think I would like to get your take on. I watched The Boy Next Door. I don't know if you guys remember this movie. It's where Jennifer Lopez plays a high school teacher who fucks her 19-year-old neighbor who also goes to the high school she teaches at.
Realistic.
Yeah, and he starts blackmailing her. This thing is a total piece of shit, but is so much fun. I think I give it a 2.5 on Letterboxd just for entertainment factor. It's on FX.
Like The Last Kingdom. Total crock of shit.
Very much. Not like that. If you have FX now, check it out. J-Lo's in it. She's always hot. She's good in it. The first 10 minutes, though, the acting is so bad, you'll literally laugh out loud, which I did. Boy Next Door. Not good. Didn't hate, wasn't great. That's what I'll say. All right, last thing before we move on to the end of the show. Geiger, you might not have much to say about this banner. I can't remember if you said you watched this, but The Tiger King and I, which is I guess technically 8th episode of Tiger King. It's really
the reunion show.
Yeah.
It's like when Bachelor does like Geiger. What's it called on The Bachelor when the girls all come back?
The Last Rose.
Like the tell-all.
Yeah, it's basically like that, but for Tiger King.
Yeah.
And it was made possible like through this quarantine situation because Joel McHale hosts and just kind of sits at home and interviews all the people except, of course, Carol Baskin, who I'm sure her lawyers told her not to go on this show. But all the other members of Tiger King that aren't in prison. I had a few questions that I thought would bring up some interesting points, but Geiger, real quick, your thoughts. I know you weren't the biggest fan of this thing. Obviously, it kind of feels like a cash grab.
No, I was fine with the Tiger King. Like it had its place. I'm absolutely fine with the Tiger King memes, and obviously, if you're at Broforce Squad, you've seen I partook quite a lot in those. But you don't have Joe Exotic, you don't have Carol Baskin. All these other guys basically were just doing a documentary thinking, okay, whatever, I'll do the documentary. But now that they're famous, they just seem to be like churching this up a little bit. And, you know, they got new hairdos and new teeth and everything. And like, these are all like the B, C+ players. Like, I want Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin. I could really give a fuck less about any of these guys. Doc Antle's stuff was a little interesting, but other than that, I could really give a fuck less. It was just basically like, hey, here's another episode just so people can talk about it. But I don't think there's any great memes or anything coming out of this or any really good material.
No, I mean, it's interesting to see these guys, like how celebrity has affected them in the short period of time since this drop. But yeah, there's no bombshells. Banner, did you get to watch it?
Yes, I did. I agree with everything. There was no bombshells. I mean, I think they shit on Joe Exotic a little bit more. I'm assuming all of them learned a little bit more about the story after they watched the documentary. And so they're like, I need to separate myself from this guy even more. That was kind of what I got. I can't believe that the long-haired dude like wasn't on drugs. That is the most
Vegas had
shocking.
that at plus 1400 that he was clean.
That somebody made bank on that. That is insane to me.
So I'll say this, and I think Geiger will agree. We're not Joe Exotic defenders at all, but it's real easy for everybody to fucking gang up on him when he's not on the show and behind bars.
I know, and that's what
right?
I hated too. It's like he wasn't even there to defend himself on all this stuff.
I was kind of surprised that the transgender who got his arm bitten off at the jail, that person even didn't have his back.
Yeah. And a lot of this too, man, is these people obviously need money, so that's why the documentary or the first part I figured was real. Now this is like just like any type of media thing. It's like, hey, everyone just trashed Joe on this, okay? Or you're not going to be on it. Pretty much
right.
is what it's.
I like his campaign manager who said, fuck the feds. As soon as I get on some medicine and I'm not batshit crazy, I want to campaign again. The fuck is wrong with that guy?
That guy, dude, he could be like just sitting in it. What are the odds he doesn't live in his mom's basement?
Just because I know he's in Oklahoma and the water table is so high, it's actually her garage.
Fuck. You win this round. One other quick thing I want to say. So the John Kirkham guy, the dude who now lives in fucking Norway.
The producer?
Yeah. So two things real quick. There is a documentary about him. He used to work on Inside Edition. Do you guys remember that? It was like Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
And apparently he was like a huge crackhead back in the day. There's a documentary on him called TV Junkie that I'm going to watch this week that like profiles him on Inside Edition and then like his drug addiction and like fall from grace, because I think it'll be interesting background. But he hammered Joe, of course. Like, he just shits on him really bad. I didn't really think that was fair. And I don't like Joe Exotic, but you see these like one-sided accounts, and I'm what was the line he had, Geiger? He was like, he said something crazy about Joe. He was like, I moved here to get away from. He said something insane. I can't even remember it.
Yeah, I didn't like how they all just piled on him, because I'm like, dude, like, I don't know. Not a lot of these people didn't really pile on him at all during the. It just seems like after fame and stuff, and all these people just want their 15 seconds to last 16 seconds. They'll just do whatever the producers tell them to.
Right. It's easy target now that you've seen the documentary and know that. I'll just say this and maybe get one or two sentences from you guys. Jeff Lowe is still, if not an even bigger piece of shit.
Yeah, I really hope someone just kicks the shit out of that guy. And I don't think it'd be that hard either.
I don't know how he hasn't gotten his ass kicked.
He's insane.
He's batshit fucking crazy. Him and his wife.
And speaking of that, Banner, I'm surprised that the long-haired guy who seemed to like really care about the animals, that he went back to work for Jeff Lowe.
Yeah, I can see why he would want to, just because you have a connection with those specific animals already. But like, come on, man, for real, you got to know what a toxic situation is.
Well,
you got to know when
the
to cut
workforce
bait.
hates their boss, so.
Is that true?
Like,
Yeah.
So that means 40% of the workforce is dishonest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how much of the workforce has a boss that wears 60 affliction shirts?
I'm so glad Joel
I don't know.
McHale called that
If you
out.
work at the Buckle, maybe? I don't know.
I called Geiger, and he was like at work, and I just texted him. I was like, hey, you don't need to call me back. I just want you to know, first question on the Tiger King episode, Joel McHale asked Jeff Lowe, how many affliction shirts do you own? And Geiger said to me, you've made the sale, quit selling.
I was like, God, dude, Jeff Lowe. He needs to run for governor of a state, and he might win somehow.
Affliction and fucking like Monster Energy will sponsor him.
Damn right.
Jesus,
Like,
yeah.
are you sponsored by an energy drink? Like, is that even illegal for a political party? All right, that's all we got. Moving on to the last part of our show. Banner, ask that question. That brings us to the end of our show, our Do You Even Lift Bruh segment, where we ask you guys a question. We ask ourselves the question, but I want your guys' opinions at home too. And then we leave you with it. Today's question, since we've all put even more of our eyeballs on them the past month and probably will the next 2 or 3 weeks, let's rank these streaming services in order from best to worst of the ones you have. So I'm going to name 5 streaming services. We've all been on these heavy, especially as Geiger mentioned. If you don't have one, you can just drop it to the bottom, but rank them. Which of these are helping you get through these tough times the best? So we have Netflix, obviously, HBO Go, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus. If one of you guys have one not included in there, feel free to throw it in and add it. Geiger, let's go to you first. I'm really interested to hear your list here.
Okay, coming in 5th, dead last, is Disney Plus. Just because you're a part of The Last Jedi. Fucking deal with it. Coming in 4th,
We need to
is
set an
HBO
over-under at how
Go.
long this is going to last.
HBO Go. This is why HBO Go, because I used to have HBO Now, which is
You have
the
them at
same thing.
4?
Yeah.
Damn, that's low.
Wow.
Can I explain why?
Yeah, I
doesn't
guess.
I don't think there's
fucking
any
work.
explanation.
It doesn't fucking work.
Damn.
But
That matters.
And loads more than any of these fucking ones. And I remember calling HBO. I'm like, dude, I just told them straight up, like, I illegally fucking get movies that have better buffers than you. I'm paying you $15 a month. And like literally, I was rewatching Game of Thrones, and I'm like, before the last season came out, I was like, I can't get through an episode without it buffering for like at least 3 to 4 minutes.
I do remember.
That's why that's fucking.
People were complaining when Game of Thrones was on their last season. Like, everybody obviously is watching it at the same time, and their servers can't handle it. Like,
But
dude.
Netflix, that happens. Like Tiger King, everyone was watching it, and it crashed. It didn't buffer.
But again, there's no point in having cool shit if when everyone tries to watch it, it doesn't work.
So that's just not me, is it? Like,
no, that happened to me too. With True Detective,
I had a problem. I've had a little bit of problems, but it's only when I watch it on my Fire Stick. If I go over to like the Roku or the Apple TV, I don't have that problem.
But that's the problem. When I call them, I'm paying them money, and they basically do the political thing and be like, "Oh, it must be your Fire Stick or your internet connection." I'm like, no. I'm like, I have 5G, and my Fire Stick works with Netflix and Hulu.
Ask Suddenlink what happens when you blame my laptop for their internet shitting out.
You can't because they're dead.
So I think I'm justified by putting that. Am I justified by putting that at 4th now?
Yes, you are. Yeah, absolutely. Course, great point. And to your point, Matt, the Fire Stick, like, I never have an issue with Netflix or Hulu. It fucking runs like a dream.
Yeah. 3, Amazon Prime. They have a bunch of fucking cool shows. They actually have, God damn it, I can't remember what it's called. It's not Hard Knocks, but it's basically during the season.
All or Nothing, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's not as in-depth as Hard Knocks, but it doesn't matter because it's during the season, so there's actually more storylines.
Yeah, you could argue it's maybe not, I don't know if cool is the right word, but it's a different perspective to see a team like after an actual game.
Yeah.
Than it is like who's going to make the team. It's still dramatic both ways, but it's just a cool like different side of the coin.
So number 2, I'm going to put in Netflix, and it's simply just because the situation we're in now with quarantine. Netflix has not very good movies, but they have a lot of great shows. And obviously a show can last you a week. A movie could last you a night. So you need good shows, and that's why I'm putting Hulu at number 1, man. Yeah. Hulu has great shows. The thing is, some of the 90s shows, they have like Step by Step, Family Matters, Wonder Years. These are shows that you don't have to watch start to finish. You can just put it on like season 5 and just like watch a fucking episode. So you can get into a new show on Hulu, but then you can also watch a bunch of guilty pleasures like from the 90s when you're a kid to just take you out of the fucking mood you're in and the world that's just really kind of fucked up right now. So I'm going Hulu 1. And it's the cheapest one because I have Spotify, which I already pay for anyway. I use Spotify every fucking day. So Hulu's free for me. So it's got more shows and it's free.
That's a great fucking list. And I hate to give you compliments, but fuck.
Well, you're all fucking up in arms before I was telling the facts of this. I just fucking laid the facts down on your ass.
What's the South Park where he's like, can I talk? Can I speak, ma'am?
The
Canadian guy?
Can I finish? Please,
can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
Okay, I'm finished.
And then, so he has nothing else to say. He just keeps asking.
Okay, I'm finished.
All right, Banner, what you got?
All right, so coming in at 5th, I've got Amazon Prime. Not for any other reason other than I just don't get on there. There are 4 other things I get on more. What I've watched of Amazon Prime, I love. They've got good original content. They are constantly turning over their old stuff that you can watch with it. It's just out of sight, out of mind.
I think Amazon Prime falls victim to like they're just like a solid 250 hitter with 15 home runs. Like they have good original content, not a ton of it. Like Jack Ryan, Hunters, Miss Maisel.
Tick.
But yeah. It's nothing blows you away. And this is a tough list to top.
Agreed. 4th, I've got Netflix. Netflix is pretty quickly for me turning into, it's just if I want something that's stupid and I'm not going to enjoy, I'm going to go there as far as a movie goes. Now, they do have great shows. Still give them that. But it's starting to get clouded and mucky with everything that they have. They almost have too much original content.
They haven't put out a good original movie since Triple Frontier.
Fight me. Can't.
That was in, what?
I mean,
February?
March. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they tried with Highwaymen and The Irishman. I think they've tried. They just haven't done it.
It's too many Netflix trash pieces. I'm talking like shitty rom-coms that are like...
Yeah, it's just too mucked up.
We need the Hulk Hogan documentary like yesterday.
Where the fuck is that, dude? Please.
I don't know.
You have to wade through all that bullshit to find the good stuff, and there's just too much bullshit. And I'm just tired of it. And
maybe this is rhetorical. Maybe we don't answer this right now, but maybe it takes a couple months. But We are huge doc heads. We love documentaries on here, and that is the one thing Netflix typically is pretty strong in, right? Is documentaries.
I'd agree with that. Yep. I would agree with that. I think
HBO's
HBO.
close, but,
I was going to say HBO can give them a run for their money, but on any given day, what Netflix has as far as their documentaries go is
What
the
are you guys
docuseries.
thinking about? What have you done for me lately, though? Because Netflix came out with Tiger King, and no one else has come out with anything even fucking close to that.
Netflix Aaron Hernandez, or was that HBO?
That was Netflix.
We didn't love that one, but it was interesting.
It was okay.
It was fine. It was harmless. 3, I've got Disney Plus. This is because it has all the Marvel movies. It has all Star Wars movies. I can pop those in while I'm doing dishes or whatever. It's right there at my fingertips. Also, I have a 2-year-old, so I can actually keep her entertained. I know the wife loves it because she can throw that up on the TV for 2 hours at a time and she can actually do something. So Disney Plus, top of the list right there. Number 2, I've got Hulu. Number 1, I've got HBO. This is because of the shows. I mean, I think those two services have the best shows. Obviously, all of what HBO has is original, and Hulu has original and, the old stuff like Geiger pointed out that we can watch again. Hulu, Brooke Banner's never seen Scrubs. We're going back and watching all the Scrubs.
Scrubs is on Hulu also?
They're all on Hulu. It's like, God damn.
Yeah, there's like Scrubs on Hulu.
Yeah, there's like 150 episodes or something. It's fantastic. HBO, though, it shows they have, if you want comedy, if you want drama, if you want action, they have it all right there. And they're all... What was the last HBO show that was bad?
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld season 2 probably.
Just
but season 1 was incredible. Yeah, you're right.
Season 1 was incredible, and
King Bran.
Again, that's a season.
I actually told the woman on the phone, I'm canceling because you made Bran
She
king.
asked me why, and I said, because Bran's king. She's like, oh, we understand that. You know they're going to remake another one? I said, why? So you can drag me along for 8 years, then shit down my throat? Just cancel my subscription.
He's like, I'm a 22-year-old just out of college. I'm not prepared. There's nothing in my script about...
Can't take the heat. Don't pick up the phone.
That's true. Jesus said that.
All right, Jeff, what's your list?
All right, so mine's pretty close to yours, Banner. Number 5, I go Amazon Prime. They have some good original shows, but and this is fair to Amazon, it's not their focus of their industry. Like, churning out this type of content is not there. And I don't see the stuff on the horizon where I'm
With
like...
With that being said, Geiger, we had, what was this? A few months ago, we had a question posed to us, which is going to be the best later on. Geiger chose Amazon because they're just not dumping money into it. Once they dump money into it, they can very easily be top of this list.
If they wanted to be at top of this list, they'd be at top of this list. Notice we didn't put Apple TV because I don't think any of us have that, right?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. 4, I put Disney Plus, and part of this is COVID-19 related, but Banner, you even have to admit they did not plan this out well in terms of original content. Like,
I agree 100%.
Massive lull. And I know for Baby Banner, there's some good nature documentaries and stuff that pop up from time to time. But May 4th, we get the Mandalorian 8-part making of. But dude, their original content, if they didn't have Onward thrown on this thing, like, I honestly was thinking about canceling this till like the Marvel shows come on and Lizzie McGuire's not happening anymore. There's no original content coming out that I'm interested in.
And Onward was supposed to be in theaters, right? They just put it on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I actually saw it in theaters. Like one of the last things I saw.
Okay.
But it got thrown on there like early, obviously.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's being poorly executed. I think that... And I don't know if this was because Apple was coming out with their streaming service, or I don't know why, but I feel like Disney Plus was rushed. Even though it felt like we were waiting for it forever, now that we're there, it feels rushed. I also think that they sold it as they were going to have more adult content on there.
And they don't at all.
And they don't at all. And maybe it's all coming, but aside from The Mandalorian, and then I'll throw Simpsons in there because I'm a nice guy, they don't have... Everything is for 12 and under, which is fine, But
Yeah.
for our demographic and our age group and who are listening to this podcast, yeah, it's down there.
I'll just say this: none of the stuff they got from Fox, the X-Men's, the Die Hards, like all the adult stuff, Hulu is where it's at. They're about to come up on my list, and I'm glad I didn't do the year subscription. I'm gonna hang out for the Marvel shows, but I don't know, man. I'm worried about Disney Plus. All right, number 3 is Netflix. You guys already said it all for me. They're reliable right now. Luckily they still have, I believe, The Office. When that goes away, it's going to be pretty tough for them. But they keep popping out. Like every time I'm ready to give up on them, they give me something original that I'm like, fuck, that's pretty cool. And their documentary game, which we all know I get boners for documentaries, they're pretty strong with that. Number 2 is Hulu. And Geiger and I have been sucking their dick this whole show. I am amazed every time I log in there, the shows and movies that they have.
And
Like,
how good are they at suggesting, oh, you might like this?
Yeah.
Every day I find myself going, you're right,
Movies
I
are
would
great,
like that.
too, yeah.
The movies are great. Hulu is like the biggest sleeper on this. And Geiger's point, number 1, I have HBO Go, but fuck, man, Geiger's kind of got me thinking maybe they don't even belong there. The only reason I said that, they have an incredible movie selection that they update a lot. Like not even every month, like every 2 weeks they add shit. And I think we can all agree, as far as any of these things go, historically they have the best shows. Like even dating back to Sopranos, The Wire,
Yeah.
True Detective.
Yeah, if you go back to the last 20 years, they have
Deep, like
probably out of the top 25 shows, they've got 17 of them.
But Geiger's got a point. If you can't fucking watch it, then it doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
I mean, Game of Thrones was always just such a, and honestly, I think probably the greatest shows of the last 10, 15 years, but it was always such a beating watching it. You had to wait 30 minutes after it came on, and then it was just a fight on a streaming service, which makes no fucking sense at all when you're paying for it.
Yeah. Get your servers ready, dude. You know when we have it to watch this show. Be prepared for everybody to bombard you. All right. It's been a long one. Great work, guys. Anything you want to leave the people with on episode 111? Geiger, you go first.
No.
You're mad at HBO. It's not us.
I'm mad at a lot of things. I'm mad at Last Jedi. I'm mad at whatever.
You know that woman at HBO, after you got off the phone, she told her manager, he mentioned something about someone shit down his throat?
Yeah.
And the manager's like, yeah, no, we get that a lot. We did that with Bran.
Yeah, about Bran being king. Yeah, you'll get that a lot today.
Here's the script for that next time someone says Banner.
Just pull over for emergency vehicles, especially in this time. Guys, you never know what's happening in that ambulance. Please pull over for emergency vehicles.
Just wisdom every time. All right, guys. For the mad scientist Brian Banner, our enforcer in the paint Matt Geiger, I'm the mayor Jeff Hornacek. Thank you so much for listening to us. We look forward to seeing you next week or on any of our movie commentaries that are dropping the next couple of days. Follow us on Twitter at BroForceSquad. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Follow us on Letterboxd. If you type in Bro Force Squad as 3 separate words on any of those places, or basically just on the internet, you will find us. And our website is broforsquad.com. You can find all of our old content. Till next time, we will see you later. Did you ask to speak to a manager about the shitting? And they were like, yeah, well, just hold. And I'm like, I'll hold. Yeah, it's fine.
I am a manager.
What's the line from Chappelle's show? Oh, guess what? I am the fucking manager.
I am the manager. Guess what?
If they ask to talk to the manager, just say, too bad.